Yo, what's up guys, TrickzKamikaze here, and today we're going to be discussing the solo leveling D rank arc. I've really been enjoying solo leveling and it's become one of my favorite manga of all time, so I can't wait to absolutely discuss this series with you guys. And if you would like to see more content like this, please leave a like on the like button below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos like this. And without further ado, let's get this started. Okay, so we enter this arc with our introduction of Hunter Sung Jin-woo. And we're being told that of all the hunters in the world, he is the weakest one by far. He's always getting hurt and he's always putting his life on the line, but he's doing all this so he can protect his mom and pay for her hospital bills. Which is pretty damn noble because he's not able to afford the right equipment and stuff to actually do the job properly, and he risks his life each time he goes into a dungeon just to save his mom. That's pretty admirable if you ask me, and it makes me respect him a whole lot more. I mean, who wouldn't do that for their mom? So anyway, Sung Jin-woo goes to his friend named Mr. Shim Sheng Cheek. Yeah, I can already tell I'm gonna butcher half of these names, but bear with me people, we're gonna get through this. Mr. Shim asks Sung Jin-woo if he's eaten, and Sung Jin-woo replies that no, he hasn't eaten yet. And right before he walks away, he hears someone mention, "Hey, is that a powerful hunter?" Mr. Shim actually says the exact opposite. He says Sung Jin-woo is actually the weakest hunter in the world. He then proceeds to say they should stop talking before Sung Jin-woo hears them. Of course, it's way too late for that. Like, you're the world's weakest hunter, you know this, and you can't upgrade because you're trying to protect your mom, and you just have people flexing that you're the weakest hunter around. He goes to get coffee, and he gets interrupted by hunter Miss Joo-hee. Miss Joo-hee seems to have a crush on him, and she's also a B-class healer. She asks him why he has bruises, and he says because he entered the E-rank dungeon. She's shocked because no one besides Jin-woo gets hurt in the E-rank dungeon. Jin-woo simply replies, "It's because I'm weak." They then get called to enter the dungeon they enter. Miss Joo-hee then proceeds to ask Jin-woo why he's doing this and that he's just going to keep on getting hurt. He says sorry and we have to finish this because we're hunters. Miss Joo then asks one more time why he's doing this. Sung Jin-woo then says it's because he does it for fun, fearing that if he told her the real reason he would be embarrassed. Mr. Sung then proceeds to talk about the monster core, which you get after killing a monster. You basically sell it for money. Then they find the double lair, which wasn't believed to be real by the group. Mr. Sung uses a fireball spell to see how long the lair is. He then says the boss is still there and he's asking if everyone is willing to go inside to defeat it, because if they don't, the other hunters will profit from it and not them. Then they proceed to vote, and it comes to a straight tie until Sung Jin-woo, the tiebreaker, knowing he has to get money for his mom, agrees to go inside the lair. Since the majority of them voted to go into the lair, the rest of them didn't have a choice. They then proceed into the lair. 40 minutes pass and the hunter says they have 20 minutes left to complete the dungeon and beat the boss before the gate closes. Miss Joo-hee gets angry with Jin-woo because he's making such a reckless decision and has been almost killed multiple times. After she chews him out, she makes him agree to buy her food once they're done. They then get interrupted by someone saying they found the entrance, except the door is nothing like he's ever seen before. One of the hunters asks, "Isn't this place dangerous?" That's when Mr. Sung interrupts them and asks, "Are you going to return empty-handed?" And I respect it because you came this far, you might as well reap the benefits, right? And like try to actually do your job as a hunter. He persuades them to join him and they enter the dungeon. They look around and notice the statues and how they're holding instruments and how there's a lot of them. While they are looking for the monster, Mr. Sung finds a magic seal, and before he gets a chance to, he's called to look at a runic text by one of the hunters. Jin-woo is listening until Miss Joo-hee pulls him to the side and tells him one of the statues just moved. He tells her she must be mistaken before getting an uneasy feeling himself. As he begins to think, Mr. Sung reads the last of the runic text and it says, "Those who do not follow these commandments will never return alive." And before any of them can react, the entrance door slams shut, trapping them inside. One of the hunters freaks out and another says he's going to leave. As he gets ready to push the door, Mr. Sung yells to him to not put his hands on the handle, but by then it's far too late. One of the statues suddenly attacks him and he's killed instantly. The rest of the hunters freak out, and that's when Sung Jin-woo realized that Jun-hee was right, that one of the statues moved. And as he looks back, he can see that the statues is staring directly at him. And I'm gonna say, that's a really creepy experience, right? Like imagine you're in the dungeon, you're ready to kill whatever is in there. You're not really expecting statues, you're expecting like goblins or elves or something like that. And then you look to the side and you see some creepy statue just staring at you that wasn't staring at you before. I would be creeped out. I'm just saying, I would have left. But They're hunters, they can deal with that. Sungjin gets a flashback of all his near-death experiences, to almost starving to death to being stabbed in the back by an E-rank monster, and how he could never afford good equipment. This resulted in people looking down at him and pitying him for always needing to be healed from the littlest injuries. But this led him to having great instinct, and he was able to warn everyone to duck the statue's beam attack. Sungjin determines that this dungeon has to be a higher than B rank. It must be an S rank dungeon. We then get a flashback of how hunters came to be, and how inside the gates that created hunters are insane monsters. Sungjin talks to Mr. Sung about his lost arm, and he tells Sung not to worry about it because there's nothing they can do. And you gotta admire, like, again, how badass he is. Like, he's trying to take all responsibility for this, and he's doing it like a badass because he lost his arm and he's still going. He's trying to act like Whitebeard, you know, the most badass person in One Piece. Okay, that's besides the point. Because all of the healers are down, the best thing they should do is just stand still. All of a sudden, a random hunter gets the urge to outrun the statues and go to the exit, but he's quickly swallowed like a fly and killed. Sungjin finds out that they're attacking a pattern, and that's when he figures out that there's commandments placement on the statues. The first one is to worship the Lord, so Sung Jin Woo goes to worship the statue, realizing that if you are above a certain height, you will be attacked. Sung gets the remaining hunters to bow. After bowing down for a short while, they feel like they are allowed to leave the dungeon. As they get up, the statue in front of them grins in a demonic way and starts to get up. Side note, this is the most creepy picture I've ever seen from a mama. The hunters start freaking out, and Sung Jin remembers there are rules to the commandments. He tells them they have to praise the Lord. A member of the church choir starts to praise the statue, but he doesn't realize he's praising the wrong god, and is stepped on and killed. The rest of the hunters scatter in fright, a number of them being killed. Sung Jin realizes that the statues with instruments don't attack, and he instructs the other hunters to run towards those. Sung Jin and Junhee run towards one of them, but the statue is still coming towards them. Junhee realizes that two people can't stay under the same statue, so Sung Jin bolts towards another statue, dodging attacks along the way. It's all them near-death experiences, right? Before Mr. Sung tells him that he's going the wrong way, and the statue uses a shield to slam Sung Jin's legs off. Jung-woo thinks about all the times he's avoided death, and how it feels like he's been holding on by a thread ever since he became a hunter, and that thread feels like it's finally going to break. The attack stops, and Junhee tries to heal Sung-woo's leg, but she's very tired herself and coughs up blood while trying to heal him. The statue starts moving again and makes an altar where one person has to be sacrificed. A hunter threatens Mr. Song, says he must be sacrificed because he's the leader and everybody that died was his responsibility. But when he tries to sacrifice himself, nothing happens. Sung Jin tells him to help him towards the altar, and he realizes that the trial will only start once everyone is at the altar. The door to the dungeon is open, and some of the hunters think that maybe they can leave. All of a sudden, the other statues awaken and starts moving towards them. See, again, at this point, I would have been freaking out. I don't know what I would have did. Sung Jin realizes that the less people looking at the statues, the faster they come towards them. All of a sudden, a girl freaks out and leaves the group behind. To the amazement of the group, she actually managed to leave behind. Sung Jin comes to the conclusion that the exit is a false hope and that they must stay there to prove their fate. See, I wouldn't have listened to him. I would have ran away. The second I saw the girl have a chance, I'm out. You on your own, bro. You the weakest hunter for a reason. Act like it. But another hunter leaves Sung's side and leaves. Sung tells the rest of the group that all they have to do is look at the statues until the flames disappear and that they can leave. But another hunter says that what if the doors close instead when the flames disappear? The hunter then tells Sung he never really expected anything of him, and thanks him for actually being the one to save the remaining people's lives. He tells Sung he doesn't want to die and run towards the exit. Sung Woo gets mad and tells him that him leaving will result in their deaths. Mr. Sung says that Sung Woo and Junhee should leave and tells him to exit the dungeon. But just then, Junhee runs out of mana and can't move her legs. It's then that Sung Jin tells them to leave, and he promises to take Junhee on the dinner date when he returns. They leave, and he takes one last stand and holds a sword up as if to fight. The statue grabs a sword and cuts through Sung Jin's body. He lands on the altar and is slowly dying. Thinking that he doesn't want to die, he wishes he just had one more chance. And all of a sudden, right before he's about to die, a quest page comes up telling him that he's completed all the conditions of his secret quest, and would he like to become a player? He says yes, so he can live, and a light flashes. Okay, so that's the end of the D rank arc. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and I would greatly appreciate that, and leave a comment below telling me if you still want to see more of this series. I really do love solo leveling, and I do plan on making more videos of it in the future, but if you would like more arc videos, please let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell at the top so you don't miss out on any more videos, and that'll be it. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.